So it's the 13th of May today, and only 58% of residential tenants are in good standing for the month of May so far. I bet you're curious to know how your portfolio fares against your industry peers. It's easy. Log into TPN. On the dashboard, you'll see the View Your Monitoring report. Click through, and that'll take you to the monitoring dashboard. On that monitoring dashboard, you'll see your details down at the bottom. For today's purposes, I'm doing the test run on ABC Test Properties. ABC Test Properties has 377 tenants that they are actively monitoring. That's 87% of their portfolio. Of those 377 tenants, we re-credit check the tenants every single month to see what their current credit risk looks like. So what are we looking at when we're looking at their current credit risk? We're trying to gauge how they've paid their vehicle finance, their payday loans, their store cards, their credit facilities, and of course, yes, their rent. Have they had any new judgments or defaults, or have any of their accounts gone into arrears in the preceding month? So for the month of May, we can look at this particular portfolio and see that 76 of their tenants are very high risk tenants. 26 of these tenants are high risk, 11 are average, and 264 of their tenants in their portfolio are good risk. We can come up to the top and look at blacklistings, where we can see 57 of their tenants have negative information, 10 received new judgments or defaults in the current month. 119 of these tenants have negative accounts in terms of their other account payment profile, 23 of which were in the current month, and 8 of their tenants have become more high risk than they were last month. On the aggregate score of this particular portfolio, we can see over a period from January down to the month of April that the portfolio has deteriorated in terms of its risk. 71% of their tenants are average risk or low risk, and that benchmarked against the industry average. 66 tenants are from your peers are either low or average risk. This deterioration in risk is based both on the fact that tenants overall are deteriorating in terms of their credit profiles, but it also looks at the current take-on of the tenants in this particular portfolio. So to look at your take-ons, click on the take-on link. You can look at your tenants that you accepted in the current month and the credit checks that you've run so far for the current month. In this particular portfolio, during the month of April, during the lockdown, we can see that very few tenants were placed as a result of the fact that there was very limited movement. But of the tenants that were placed, 1 was good, 1 was poor, and 2 were below average. Simply looking at those scores, you can see that the quality of tenants being placed at the moment has deteriorated in this particular portfolio. In terms of collections, for the month of May, we can have a look down here and see that ABC Properties last loaded their data with TPN on the 7th of May. At that point in time, 313 of their tenants had paid on time, 21 had paid late, 53 have made a partial payment, and 11 so far have not made any payment towards rent. Benchmarked against the peers, we can see that 83% of tenants, 83.9% of tenants are in good standing. And this is a deterioration from the previous month, where we had 99% of tenants in this particular portfolio were in good standing. As we mentioned right at the beginning, it's important to benchmark yourself against your peers and to understand the risk of your entire portfolio. So how do you understand the risk of your entire portfolio? The first thing is loading your data regularly with TPN, loading it at least once a week, so that when you come to understanding your portfolio, we're looking at the most recent data in your portfolio. The second thing is to ensure that 100% of your tenants are being monitored. Remember, when you do a rent check and you place your tenant, for the next 12 months, TPN will re-credit check your tenant every month at no additional charge to you to ensure that your tenants are being monitored right throughout their life cycle with you. If the tenant's lease continues over the 12-month period and you renew into the second year, To activate your monitor, simply click on the Inactive Monitoring. This will show you tenants that are not being monitored because you never credit checked them. Remember the tenants that we saw in the take-on screen where they were placed without having been credit checked in the past, or as a result of their credit check having expired. In other words, the rent check is now older than 12 months and we've stopped monitoring. And these were the 2 tenants that we took on last month where no rent check was performed. In order to activate, simply click on the activation, and for each tenant, click on Activate Monitoring to reactivate your monitoring so that you can have a look at your monitoring profile and see the risk of your entire portfolio. Good luck with rent collections for the rest of May. Remember, for the month of April, although on the 13th of April, we were only at 62% of tenants in good standing, we finished the month off at 74%. For the month of May so far, on the 13th of May, we're at 58% of tenants in good standing, nearly 4.5% below where we were in April. Send out your letter of demands, continue with your collection processes, and let's get those collection figures up by the end of the month. Take care and stay safe.